Trending down. Tonight on our news, live at 7, new police stats show a drop in major crimes. Plus, new details emerge from the police investigation into a tragic incident on a cruise ship involving 2 South African nationals. What police say reportedly led one to commit suicide. Then, the first half of the year brings economic expansion. The central bank governor shares the dollars and cents during the bank's quarterly press briefing this morning. Then in our news at 7:30, higher temperatures lead to higher power bills. One financial expert breaks down the costs of summer consumption as frustrations mount over the rising cost of energy. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candido Knowles. We begin with a former Cable Bahamas executive who has filed a lawsuit for wrongful dismissal and breach of contract. Cable Bahamas, which is important for us to note in our reporting tonight, is the parent company of RTV, and it's at the center of the claim, according to court documents filed in the Supreme Court in early June on behalf of former Vice President Rawi Ahana. The legal documents claim she was subject to sexual harassment, bullying, and misogynistic and racist conduct before she was fired last summer. Hada, who began working for the company in January 2021, was fired from her position on August 30th, 2024. But her lawsuit claims she was allegedly let go without being paid her salary, vacation pay, or notice pay. As it relates to the timing of her firing, the lawsuit alleges it happened months after a member of the Cable Bahamas Board of Directors made unwanted sexual advances towards her and rammed into her 2019 BMW SUV in February 2024 following a company. Now, the lawsuit also alleges she was on the receiving end of sexist and unprofessional behavior during her tenure at the company. In a statement, Cable Bahamas said it is aware of the lawsuit and takes the complaint seriously. The company also says it is committed to a fair and thorough review of the matter. Now, as journalists, it is important that we say that we remain committed to covering this story and others like it with the integrity that you, our viewers, expect. Even when the story involves our parent company, we hold ourselves accountable. Well, a 41-year-old man has been charged after prosecutors allege he picked up a 34-year-old hitchhiker and raped her on 2 beaches. Ulrich Farrington stood before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans, facing 2 counts of rape in the July 19th incident. He didn't have to enter pleas to the charges and was denied bail. Farrington is expected back in court on December 11th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Now, according to police, Farrington offered the woman a ride as she walked along East Street around 4 a.m. But instead of taking her to her destination, Farrington allegedly took the woman to Montague Beach and Yamacraw Beach, where he raped her. And new details are emerging about a tragic incident involving 2 South African nationals aboard a Royal Caribbean cruise ship in Bahamian waters. Police say a male crew member reportedly tried to start a romantic relationship with a female colleague. Police say after she rejected him, he allegedly attacked and stabbed her before jumping overboard to his death. Bahamian authorities first reported the case last week, confirming the man stabbed the woman on board the vessel and then committed suicide. International reports identify the ship as Icon of the Seas, part of the Royal Caribbean International Fleet. Now, police say the woman remained on board, though her condition is still unknown. Assistant Commissioner of Police Anton Ramming provided the update during the Commissioner of Police's half-year press briefing on Monday.
Our reports indicated to us is that he attempted a relationship with a female who was also a worker on that vessel, and after being denied, he inflicted some injuries to that young lady. After that took place, he eventually went to the vessel, to the end of the vessel, where he stood. Persons attempted to prevent him from jumping. He eventually did.
As for the woman, Ramming says she remained on the vessel after being treated by doctors for serious injuries. He says the matter will eventually be forwarded to Her Majesty's coroner.
We are speaking with our foreign partners and also those family members who are inquiring on that matter as well, along with the persons that are on the ship, to gather all the information that's needed for us to complete the investigation.
All right, just 6 months into 2025, and major crime decreased in just about every area except for suicides and attempted suicides, according to Police Commissioner Shannon Knowles. Knowles, who delivered a mid-year report on crime trends in the country at police headquarters Monday, says overall crime dropped by 14%, with 1,223 cases so far for 2025 when compared to 1,420 during the same period last year. Additionally, she says murders decreased 26%, with 44 incidents compared to 60 incidents during the same period in 2024.
We were able to solve 64% of all murders recorded in that period. Victims between the ages of 18 and 45 represents 84% of all homicides. Again, retaliation, gang, and conflict continues to trend as the most common motives for murder, representing 64% collectively.
All right, we'll have more stats from the commissioner's report coming up in our news at 7:30. Well, according to police, a total of 696 crimes against the person were recorded last year. And in that report, criminal activities such as armed robberies saw a decrease. However, homicides saw an increase. Statistics like these have prompted one group to take action to promote crucial conflict resolution skills. Danielle Miller has this.
593 out of the 696 crimes against the person recorded for 2024 occurred in the New Providence district. These crimes include manslaughter, murder, rape, armed robbery, and others. It is statistics like these that led to the formation of the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar. This Sunday, the group took the initiative to the Fox Hill Community Park. There, we met Andrea and Isaiah Simon, siblings with a desire to be change agents. They told me they wanted to learn how they could use their voice to uplift the community and decrease violence. Andrea says the issue of crime is deeply rooted, one she believes stems from a lack of self-esteem and regard for others.
We take each other as a joke and we don't take each other seriously. That's why we have no problem shooting each other down and not even giving each other the respect to resolve a conflict.
Isaiah says one thing he learned from the seminar was that most violent acts were carried out by young black men under the age of 25, a statistic that sent shockwaves through his mind.
Isaiah said it's disheartening, and as a young man of color, even though he's not involved in criminal activity, it is easy for the world to stereotype him.
In their category, so if anybody would look at me, they would think the same of me.
So what's the solution? One of the event organizers, Officer Malachi Israel, told me it takes a village where community leaders, members of the armed forces, and religious groups unite on initiatives like this to take a proactive approach.
We are dedicated to bringing the solutions to the problem, to the crime. We're trying to target our youth in these communities because, as we know, there's a lot of crime that has taken place in our communities. And what we want to do is bring biblical solutions to the problems that we are facing in our community.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much for that, Danielle. Now to the Bahamian economy, which expanded in the first half of 2025, but not as quickly as last year. And that's reportedly due mainly to slower growth in tourism. However, foreign investment and private sector borrowing provided a much-needed boost to employment and government revenue. According to Central Bank Governor John Roll, the country also saw a seasonal dip in external reserves, which were estimated at $2.95 billion at the end of July, about 2% lower than the same time 2024. This, he says, was due to moderated tourism inflows and reduced net foreign exchange receipts. Roll's comments came during the bank's quarterly press briefing on Monday.
The environment is projected to have provided ongoing gains to employment and increased taxable activities which benefited the government's revenue collection. Stronger credit expansion resulted in reduced seasonal growth in bank liquidity and in external reserves compared to the first half of 2024. Credit risk indicators were also comparatively lowered from 2024, but at a more gradual speed, given the tempered pace at which the economy improved.
On the lending front, commercial banks issued more credit across consumer, mortgage, and commercial sectors, while delinquency rates continued to slow, but on a steady decline. The share of loans more than 90 days past due fell from 6% in 2024 to around 5% this year. Looking ahead, central bank forecasting slower overall growth for the remainder of the year, with particular concern for U.S. stopover arrivals.
The central bank continues to expect the economy to grow at a slower pace in 2025 than in 2024. Tourism, as the main engine of growth, is likely to show mixed trends, in particular with the slowest results being in the U.S. stopover component, relative to more sustained expansion in vacation rental receipts, non-U.S. stopovers, and return from the cruise segment.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Monday, Greg. I'm looking at 93 degrees. I don't feel so bad because coming up in World News, we have a story on the fact that heat indices are supposed to reach 120 across the eastern half of the United States.
Very, very hot.
Listen, I say folks who are planning to travel, certainly stay tuned for that coming up in World News.
We have our share of it, but we're not seeing those actual feels like temperature that they're having in this eastern portion of the United States. But we are still very warm. Temperatures are into the 90s. We do see those heat indices into the triple digits, the low triple digits, but it's still warm on the outside. 85 degrees right now with a few clouds, east winds at 7 miles per hour, and your feels like temperature is at 93. Temperatures right now around the Family of Islands, it's 86 in Freeport, 85 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Great Harbor Key, Governor's Harbor here in the capital. Pick up 86 in Nicholstown, Andros, Alistown, Bimini, 87, Central Bahamas, 85, Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Port Nelson, 84 in Black Point, Exuma, as well as Coburn Townsend, Salvador, Georgetown, and Deadman's Key, both 86 at this hour. And in the Southeast Bahamas, 84 Duncantown, Ragged Island, pick up a few more 85s in Kernhill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, and you have a few spotty showers nearby there. 89 in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, showers and isolated thunderstorms in the vicinity as well, and down in Matsutown, Inago, also warm 87, and they also have some showers and some isolated thunderstorms nearby. Satellite radar composite, it is quiet, but we do have a weak disturbance in the low levels. The surface trough really across the, well, it's approaching the southern portion of New Providence, but that's going to be lifting towards the northwest, bringing us the chances for some showers and isolated thunderstorms. But behind that, high pressure is going to continue to dominate. Still have some Sahara dust out there, so we're looking for those feels like temperatures back in the triple digits for the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Superman, not that one, prepares to take flight once again. Well, this time he's teaching others to take flight at the greatest program in the SEC, not arguing it.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
The consulate is going to be dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not Memory Lane, but Memory Avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Add another Bahamian to Big Blue Nation. Levan Sands has been named the assistant horizontal jumps coach for the Kentucky Wildcats track and field program. Sands will head to Lexington and to the SEC after his most recent stint as a member of the coaching staff with the Florida State Seminoles in the ACC. The Olympic bronze medalist in the triple jump and Bahamian national record holder in the event began his coaching career as a volunteer assistant at Auburn High in Alabama. He then served for 2 years as an assistant coach at the University of Northern Colorado before moving on to FSU.
Raw Talent continues its summer of expansion and affords its players the opportunity to learn from Division I head coach out of the Big 12. Keno Burrows and his program has hosted the select group of players at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium for a series of training sessions, the latest of which featured Steve Lutz, head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys men's basketball. Since its inception, Raw Talent has afforded high school, collegiate, and pro players an opportunity to refine their skills at home during the off-season.
Nearly 100 players, 3 days of showcasing, and intense competition on the field highlighted the Bahamas Baseball Association's first ever Youth All-Star Weekend. The Andre Rogers National Stadium hosted the best 8U, 10U, and 12U players in their respective divisions throughout the country. Here's a rundown of the championship in each division played on Sunday. In 8U, Team Black won 5-4 over Team Aqua. In 10U, Team Black won once again 7-5 over Team Aqua. And in 12U, Team Aqua finally got the edge with a 10-9 win over Team Black. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as forecasters warn heat indices could hit 120 across the eastern half of the United States. What you need to know ahead of any summer travel plans. Plus, the suspect in a Michigan Walmart stabbing over the weekend faces terrorism charges. And the U.S. set to deport permanent residents over alleged support of Haitian gang leaders. The story when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
He took a PVC pipe because I questioned him. Whilst I was 7 months pregnant, and he hit me across my stomach with it, pushed me down on the bed, and he would rape me.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. More than 185 million Americans from South Dakota to Florida and up to Boston are under heat alerts to start the work week. The Southeast feeling it the worst, with heat indices from 105 to 120 degrees in spots like Mississippi and Louisiana. Even at night, forecasters say it may not dip below the 70s. And it's not just the South. New York, Philly, and Boston bracing for multiple days of 90 to 100 degree heat. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says nearly 2,000 Americans die each year from extreme heat. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Europe have struck a new trade deal averting a major economic shutdown. President Donald Trump made the announcement Sunday, confirming a 15% tariff on European goods entering the United States. In return, the EU will boost purchases of American energy and military equipment. While some in Europe say the deal falls short of a zero tariff goal, it's seen as better than the 30% threat that was on the table. Talks were sealed after EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen met with Trump in Scotland. A Michigan man is facing terrorism and attempted murder charges after stabbing 11 people at a Walmart in Traverse City. Authorities say 42-year-old Bradford James Gilley used a folding knife in a random attack, injuring shoppers between ages 21 and 84. All victims are expected to survive. Police say armed citizens helped confront the suspect in the parking lot before his arrest. A motive hasn't been determined, but officials say the nature of the crime warranted terrorism charges. And the U.S. moving to deport some green card holders accused of supporting Haitian gang leaders. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says they're linked to Vive Ensemble, a group the Trump administration labeled a terrorist organization in May. One man, 69-year-old Pierre Reginald Boulot, was arrested. The U.S. says he contributed to violence and Haiti's destabilization. The man is a controversial Haitian businessman and political figure with U.S. residency. The number of potential deportees still unknown. And China and nations from Latin America and the Caribbean teaming up on human rights. More than 130 officials and experts met in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday for the second China-LAC Roundtable on Human Rights. The group discussed cooperation on digital ethics, green development, and global governance, despite cultural differences. Organizers say the goal is to build a shared future and set a global example. The meeting ended with the launch of a China-LAC Human Rights Network and the signing of the Sao Paulo Consensus. Still to come on our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was July 28th. Then in our news at 7:30, new police stats show major crimes are down, but suicides continue to trend upward. Plus, bodies piling up. A local mortician sounds the alarm over the state of the public morgue. We'll tell you the familiar claims when our news returns.
The concert is going to be dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not Memory Lane, but Memory Avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Port.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1860, the last captured ship of enslaved Africans was shipwrecked near Lynyard Key off Abaco. They were first quarantined, then transported to New Providence to serve a sentence, and eventually freed in what is now called Congo Town, Fox Hill. Then in 1945, William Lindsay Murphy became governor of the Bahamas, succeeding the Duke of Windsor. Murphy served for 5 years until 1950. As governor, he officially opened the famous Lerner Marine Laboratory on Bimini, which is a field station of the American Museum of Natural History. During his time in office, the use of secret ballots in elections was extended to the outer islands in 1949. Then in 1994, the Bahamas established diplomatic relations with the Republic of South Africa. The spirit of this cooperation also served to enhance collaborative efforts in international organizations such as the United Nations. 17 years later, in 2021, offices in the Department of Social Services were shut down across the country as employees used their lunch break to protest what they called government's failure to address concerns. Employees took to the streets waving signs that read, "Slavery is over." Workers had threatened industrial action if their voices were not heard. Also that same day, over 200 employees called in sick at Bahamas Power and Light as union negotiations fell through. The union was asking for millions of dollars to pay members, but BPL executives refused, saying the power company did not have an extra dime to pay. And finally, in 2022, the viewing of former House Speaker Vernon Simonet was held after his passing on July 7th that year. He was first elected to Parliament in 1982 and served as MP for Inagua and Mayaguana and was Speaker of the House from 1992 to 1997.
All right, the Patriarch of Bethlehem Baptist Church, the late Reverend Dr. John E. Clare, getting one of the highest honors on Sunday as a street renamed in his memory. The road, formerly named Tulip Avenue, just off Independence Highway, will now be known as John E. Clare Avenue. It's the street where the more than 60 years old church is located. Members of the late Reverend's family and the congregation gathered at the street's corner after their morning worship service for the official unveiling, Wendell Clear and Minister Sharon Clear, his last two surviving children. Minister Clear was overcome with emotions as she spoke to the R News team, telling us they are proud of their father's legacy and strives to follow in his footsteps, describing him as a humanitarian that dedicated his time to serving the community from various youth initiatives, feeding programs, and a prison ministry. Despite his added commitment to the church, he says he always found time to be a father.
He laid hands on me when he was on his deathbed, and he asked the Lord to let his double proportion fall on me. And so now I preach, I'm a marriage officer, I'm a justice of the peace, and it's just to God be all the glory that we're gonna work, and I'm gonna work this. Words cannot express how I feel today for this being a father to so many, and he is getting accolades even after his passing. This year will make Daddy 24 years that he has been home with Jesus.
All right, what a legacy and what an honor. Congratulations goes out to the Clear family. If you want to watch their story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now, Talia Hall. She's up with the latest headlines. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Ken. Happy Monday, we're back.
Yes.
All right, well, coming up, a local mortician sounds her alarm over the state of the public morgue. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, allegations of sexual harassment, bullying, and unpaid compensation are at the center of a new lawsuit filed by a former Cable Bahamas executive. Also, new police data shows major crime across the Bahamas is trending down. But not all the numbers are encouraging. Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles shares some troubling suicide statistics straight ahead. And later, a local funeral director claims bodies are piling up at the morgue due to broken coolers. We have the latest. And the Progressive Liberal Party is revealing its new political faces at its official candidate launch tonight. Our Joshua Williams is live on location when our news live at 7:30 returns.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. They're going to marvel.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Keisha, one thing with you ain't never have no money. I just sent Miko inside Wendy's just now because Wendy's 7-day summer promo. Just hot cash, girl. Yes, hot cash. But anyway, we did this one right now. We trying to win this $10,000. And even if you ain't win the $10,000, you can win $2,500 every week. Even if you don't get no ride.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Well, a former Cable Bahamas executive has filed a lawsuit for wrongful dismissal and breach of contract. Cable Bahamas, which is important for us to note in our reporting, is the parent company of Our TV, is at the center of the claim, according to court documents filed in the Supreme Court in early June on behalf of the former Vice President, Rubia Hanna. The legal documents claim she was subjected to sexual harassment, bullying, and misogynistic and racist conduct before she was fired last summer. Hannah, who began working for the company in January 2021, was fired from a position on August 30, 2024. But her lawsuit claims she was allegedly let go without being paid her salary, vacation pay, or notice pay. As it relates to the timing of her firing, the lawsuit alleges it happened months after a member of the Cable Bahamas Board of Directors made unwanted sexual advances towards her and rammed into her 2019 BMW SUV in February 2024 following a company dinner. The lawsuit also alleges she was on the receiving end of a sexist and unprofessional behavior during her tenure at the company. In a statement, Cable Bahamas said it is aware of the lawsuit and takes the complaint seriously. The company also says it's committed to a fair and thorough review of the matter. As journalists, we remain committed to covering this story and others like it with the integrity our viewers expect. Even when the story involves our parent company, we hold ourselves accountable. Well, brand new data from the Royal Bahamas Police Force shows major crime is down across the country. Cops say the recent decline has to do with beefing up preventative and enforcement efforts, but it's not all good news. At a press conference this morning, Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles also outlined a grim statistics involving suicides. Our Bertha McDermott reports.
Just 6 months into 2025, and major crime decreased in just about every area except for suicides and attempted suicides. The details coming from Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles, who delivered a mid-year report on crime trends in the Bahamas at police headquarters this morning. Knowles says overall crime dropped by 14%, with 1,222 cases so far for 2025 when compared to the 1,420 cases during the same period in 2024. Additionally, murders decreased by 26%, with 44 incidents when compared to 60 incidents during the same period in 2024.
We were able to solve 64% of all murders recorded in that period. Victims between the ages of 18 and 45 represents 84% of all homicides.
The data also showed homicides were most prevalent in the South Central Division of New Providence, adding that guns are the weapon of choice for killers. Armed robberies also saw a 42% decline. Burglaries, house break-ins, shop break-ins, stealing, and stealing from vehicles also saw decreases, as well as rape and unlawful sexual intercourse.
Rape decreased by 24%, with 25 cases compared to 33 over the same period in 2024. Cases of unlawful sexual intercourse decreased significantly by 34%, with 57 cases compared to 86 for the same period in 2024.
Now, we also asked the police commissioner what attributed to what they're describing as this major decrease in crime.
I believe the good Lord is working with the Royal Bahamas Police Force even more than he has before. And I believe that the officers understand truly their mandate to go out there and give true service to the Bahamian people, and they are doing just that.
But while these areas saw a decrease, suicides remain on the rise. What's concerning is the fact that it seems numbers are trending upward in recent years. Commissioner Knowles says the leading motives remain depression and anxiety, relationship issues, and people who just don't want to live anymore.
I can report that by mid-year 2025, suicides rose to 8 cases from 5 in 2024. All 8 cases were male victims. Likewise, attempted suicides increased by 39%.
Reporting for our news, I'm Bertha McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force needs an additional 2,000 officers to meet its manpower demands, according to Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles. She shares there are currently 2,656 officers. Now, back in February, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe blamed the shortfall on the lack of aggressive recruiting under the former Minister administration. But he said the plan is to try and make up the shortfall. Knowles telling us the force is preparing to pass out 100 officers and hopefully another 100 officers in the not-too-distant future. Despite the shortage, the commissioner says police officers have still managed to get the job done.
We are managing because the officers are dedicated. They come to work. They come to work with the spirit to give good service, and that is how we are managing. The grace of God is bringing them out to work, and I am grateful for every one of them that come out to work on the 24-hour shifts that we have.
While a local mortician and funeral director is raising the alarm on the state of the morgue at the Princess Margaret Hospital, claiming non-functioning coolers as bodies piling up. Owner of St. Ambrose Funeral Home, Ambrose Gibson, claims he was contracted by the Public Hospitals Authority to bury 50 bodies, but was only able to bury 12 before officials rescinded his contract. He says the situation is out of control and something needs to be done.
The two main coolers were down, which caused us to revert to the auxiliary coolers. Of the 3 auxiliary coolers, one has been inoperable for in excess of a year. One is filled to capacity with deceased persons that were there in excess of 2 years. I know of no government, no agency in the world that stores body at taxpayers' expense for in excess of 2 years.
Gibson says the last update he received was that 3 out of 6 coolers are now inoperable. We reached out to officials from the Public Hospitals Authority for comment. They said they would look into the matter and revert. Gibson is calling on authorities to act quickly for what he describes as a crisis. He's also concerned about the Family Islands.
There is a morgue in North Andros. That thing, whenever you go in there, you're sure it's not working and it's leaking. The morgue in Abaco, leaking. The foyer has no air conditioning. Exuma, the best morgue there is, the foyer has no air conditioning. In fact, they don't use it, they outsource. All of the other chain islands, with exception of San Salvador, problems with the morgue. No one is addressing it. They're treating the death care industry as an afterthought.
Well, heavy showers to start off the work week in Western New Providence. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with you first. Look at weather. Greg, I experienced some heavy downpour
heavy shower
today.
and a thunderstorm happened out there at the airport and in the western side of the island. All courtesy of a surface trough. We'll share it on a satellite picture, but it is warm on the outside, 84 degrees, few clouds. East winds at 7 miles per hour. It feels like temperature is at 93. Satellite radar composite, that weak surface trough drifting into the northwest Bahamas, as I mentioned. Saw some isolated showers across Andros, Grand Bahama, even had one here in the capital. Elusive getting in on the action. We also have a tropical wave moving just to the south of us near Hispaniola. Some clouds are blowing off from some thunderstorms affecting the southeastern islands. Most of the activity will be pulling towards the west and away from us. Ridge of high pressure is going to dominate our weather. Some slight Saharan dust still out there, so we're looking for some very hot temperatures over the next couple of days. So if you plan on being on the outdoors, stay hydrated. Make sure you wear some light-colored and loose-fitted clothing for the heat. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, the Progressive Liberal Party is revealing its new political faces at its official candidate launch tonight. Plus, with electricity bills on the rise, many residents say they're fed up. But Executive David Slatter from RF Bank and Trust weighs in with his own breakdown when our news continues.
Fine. All you gotta do is upgrade any combo between 1 to 12 to medium or large, and they get this new spicy chicken club sandwich that I just sent Miko inside there for from June 24th to August 1st. You ain't getting the venues that's on you, but don't ask me for no money when I win.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy,
Supporters of the Progressive Liberal Party are gathering at Windsor Park this evening for the party's Central Link-Up. Now, it's the second major rally this year, and our Joshua Williams is there live as the event gets underway. Josh, what can you tell us?
Good night, Italia. Yes, we're here at Windsor Park. There's high energy here. Scores of Progressive Liberal Party supporters are around us for the PLP's Central Link-Up. Now, this is the second one they would have had in the capital for the year. The first one held for the eastern section of the island. And joining me right now is a sitting member for the Anglican community. She's the longest consecutive serving member of Parliament, Minister Glenys Hannah Martin. Just talk to me right now about the energy you're experiencing.
Well, you know, we walked from the Anglican constituency office, and I came with people who I've known for decades, and so it was a joyful travel. But this is, it's good to be back on this park, because this was the original place that the PLP held its meetings, its many meetings, and so to finally rediscover our original site, you know, it's the best, you know, yes, so it's a good experience.
Now, you know, this is a unique situation we've never seen before, where rallies are held in smaller locations, almost like zones. Why this method? Why would you call the link-up, which, as you would call it?
I'm not sure what the thinking was, but a lot of these constituencies have commonalities, shared boundaries. And so I think when they say link-up, it's a way of bringing people in this proximity together, and to have a greater familiarity with each other in a different environment politically, and also to build a cross-border solidarity. So I think that's what the thinking was behind it.
And how has the turnout been? We see scores of people out here. You came into a huge fanfare. You decided to walk versus come on the bus. How was that for you?
Well, you know, like I said, it's, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and this part of it where I interact with the people who have stuck with me, and I've stuck with over the many years, is easy. It is easy, and it's wonderful. So when we came from the office just now, it was a really great celebration for us in Anglican. It was nice.
Final question quickly. These are inner city communities, Anglican, you have Centerville, you have Freetown. What are the needs of the residents in this community, and how are you planning to address them as we head into election season?
Well, you know, the needs are, I guess, maybe similar to other communities, with a lot of infrastructural issues, you know, road paving, drainage, like Ridgeland Park West has chronic flooding, so does the Grove area. So the drainage areas, we have a community center that is under development, and that's going to bring a huge new paradigm. I think that, you know, I guess there's still a lot of people who need employment, those who are looking for more fulfilling employment, and you know, I think it's the same. We've put a lot of resources into Anglican. We've done a lot of cleanups. We've paved roads. We've put up signage. We've dealt with drainage. We've cleared down lots. We've moved old derelict vehicles. and we are not tolerating the littering that many people seem to want to come into Engliston and do. And the urban renewal, I want to give a shout out to ASP Pinder. She is outstanding. She's on the ground and she's making sure she's a quick response when these things happen. We're very vigilant in Engliston right now. Any odd thing happening, we want to get on it right away and restore the community. It's a community. I was thinking I won't put up a sign because a lot of people drive through Engliston as a thoroughfare. I won't put up a sign saying you are traversing a community, and we should never lose track of, or a sense of that Engliston is a community of wonderful people.
Well, the night is just getting started. You obviously have a speech prepared. We're going to let you do that. And
Did you bring my speech?
No, ma'am, I did.
Oh, Lord.
No speech for me.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Minister.
Nervous just now.
No, ma'am, no, ma'am. Back to you in Studio Italia.
All right, Joshua Williams reporting live tonight at Windsor Park for the PLP's Parties Central Link Up. Thanks so much, Josh. Well, as summer temperatures continue to soar, so have electricity bills, leaving many residents feeling the heat financially. But Prime Minister Philip Davis is pushing back against the criticism, insisting the issue isn't higher rates, it's higher usage. Davis urged Bahamians to compare their current electricity bills to the same period last year. Well, Vice President and Group Head of Investment at RF Bank and Trust, David Slatter, crunched the numbers himself during our monthly sit-down interview and offered his take on the summer bills. Let's take a look.
My personal bill from last year and compared it to this year. And here's my the results of my analysis. You got to look at your BPL bill. The first 200 kilowatt hours are free. That's the same this year versus last year. Then you go up to 800 kilowatt hours, and the fee this year, 0.1195 or 11 cents, 12 cents, same as last year, so no change. Then you get up to the over 800 kilowatt hour usage. Then it goes up to basically 15 cents, same as last year, no change. Then you also have a fuel surcharge. Now this is where it's different this year versus last year. Up to the first 800 kilowatt hours, your fuel surcharge rate is 0.174. Last year was 0.178. So that's a 2.3% reduction in the fuel surcharge. And then over 800 kilowatt hours, 0.214 this year, last year 0.218. That's a 2% decrease over last year. So the Prime Minister is correct when he says that the rates this year are lower than last year. Now, the challenge is if you're using under 800 kilowatt hours last year and now you're over it, all of a sudden there's a big jump, right? And the reality is if you're using more power this year than last year, your bill's going to be higher.
He did say that the bills aren't going up, it's the consumption.
Coming up in sports, Levan Sands is the latest Bahamian superstar to join the Kentucky Wildcat staff. The Raw Talent program continues its expansion, and lots of activity on the youth sports front. The All-Stars shine bright on the baseball diamond.
Day by day, panel by panel, our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Gandino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark. Let's do show. Add another Bahamian to Big Blue Nation. Levan Sands has been named the assistant horizontal jumps coach for the Kentucky Wildcats track and field program. Sands will head to Lexington and to the SEC after his most recent stint as a member of the coaching staff with the Florida State Seminoles in the ACC. The Olympic bronze medalist in the triple jump and Bahamian national record holder in the event began his coaching career as a volunteer assistant at Auburn High in Alabama. He then served for 2 years as an assistant coach at the University of Northern Colorado before moving on to FSU. Under his guidance, FSU jumps turned in one of their best team finishes in over a decade at the 2022 NCAA Outdoor Champs. Now at Kentucky, Sands will be the latest addition to the many Bahamians already on the staff, led by head coach Lonnie Green. That list also includes Olympian Debbie Ferguson-McKenzie, assistant coach and recruiter, along with Devin Charlton, the 60-meter hurdles world record holder, contributing as a volunteer assistant coach.
Raw Talent continues its summer of expansion and affords its players the opportunity to learn from Division I head coach out of the Big 12. Keno Burrows and his program has hosted the select group of players at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium for a series of training sessions, the latest of which featured Steve Lutz, head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys men's basketball. Since its inception, Raw Talent has afforded high school, collegiate, and pro players an opportunity to refine their skills at home during the off-season. For the first time this year, it has extended its reach to include girls into the daily training of the Raw Talent program.
It's always big for me and my family to be able to give back. And so you come to one of the most beautiful places in the world on our mind to not only come here and enjoy it, but also to try and give back to the community. And no better place to do it than the Bahamas and your Raw Talent basketball program.
Nearly 100 players, 3 days of showcasing and intense competition on the field highlighted the Bahamas Baseball Association's first ever Youth All-Star Weekend. The Andre Rogers National Stadium hosted the best 8U, 10U, and 12U players in their respective divisions throughout the country. Here's a rundown of the championship in each division played on Sunday. In 8U, Team Black won 5-4 over Team Aqua. In 10U, Team Black won once again 7-5 over Team Aqua. And in 12U, Team Aqua finally got the edge with a 10-9 win over Team Black. The BBA All-Star Weekend also featured skills challenges, including the Home Run Derby, Fastest Runner, and Golden Arm competitions.
This has been a phenomenal experience, amazing. We got the best players from throughout the entire Commonwealth of Bahamas. The Bahamian crowd got to see the future of baseball. They got to see the future stars.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You know, Kentucky's hiring new Bahamian track coaches, new Bahamian basketball coaches. I feel like they're missing something.
Well, I feel like you and Nakia set a trend at Kentucky.
I'm saying. Talk to us, Big Blue Nation. Talk to us. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, cloudy skies and warm temperatures on this Monday. Greg is back with your extended forecast when our news continues. Stay with us.
The concert is going to be dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not Memory Lane, but Memory Avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Port.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Candino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
He took a PVC pipe because I questioned him whilst I was 7 months pregnant, and he hit me across my stomach with it, pushed me down on the bed, and he would rape me.
I told his daughters he's a rapist because this is what he's been doing to me when
This is our news. Welcome back. We start you off with a look at local conditions. We do have a weak surface trough moving just to the north of Cat Island and Long Island, bringing some showers and some isolated thunderstorms to the northwest Bahamas where the moisture is actually concentrated. We have a tropical wave to the south, but that's not really going to do much. The rest of the tropics remaining quiet. We are going to be watching a system coming off of Africa by the end of the week. That is one that we will continue to monitor over the next several days. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that surface trough lifting towards the north across the northwest Bahamas. So tonight, tomorrow, we see some more showers in the forecast, but high pressure, as I mentioned, will dominate, and that should take us through Wednesday, keeping us rather quiet. Boating conditions for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Tide will be high at 11:27 tonight. Low tide takes place at 6:07 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, caution flag still in place. Winds starting off easterly at 50 knots, but they will be falling off 10 to 15 knots later on in the day. 3 to 5 foot seas expected. Those seas will be subsiding during that time frame. National forecast. Here's a look at what's going to be happening for tomorrow. In your extended forecast, it is just going to remain hot. Hot for the next several days. Couple of isolated showers in the forecast. High pressure will dominate, but those temperatures will be in the 90s. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits. Stay safe out there, everybody. That's a look at our forecast. Have a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team.